Okay, so a nice question here on looking at matrix transformations, just following on from the previous video. And the question says this. It says the transformation matrix, the 2 by 2 matrix, A minus 2, 1, 1, maps the point 2, 5 onto the point 3b. Work out the values of A and B. So let's just kind of set up a bit of an equation here. So the matrix A minus 2, 1, 1, we can go and write over here. So A minus 2, 1, 1. And because it's the transformation matrix, we're multiplying it by the initial starting point, okay, which you call the object, which is 2, 5. And remember, this 2, 5, you can write it as a 2 by 1 matrix, 2 and then 5. And we're told that this gives us the new point, okay, the image 3b. So 3b we can write over here. So 3 and then b, done. So I've kind of set up a bit of an equation here with all my matrices. So just like in the previous video, you have the object, the initial point 2, 5, you transform it by the transformation matrix, A minus 2, 1, 1, and you get the new point 3b. And like on the previous videos on multiply matrices, when you have matrices like this, just multiply them together and things will begin to unfold. So the process for this, as always, the rows with the columns. So we go and create a new matrix. A times by 2 gives you 2a. Negative 2 times by 5 gives you minus 10, which we just write as this. You then do the second row with the first column. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 times 5 is 5, and 2 add 5 gives you 7. So the bottom number is simply just going to give you 7, and there we go. And this is, of course, equal to the right-hand side, which is equal to 3, and then b over here. Done. Now this is really nice. You can now go and compare the terms in the matrices. So you've got the top term, 2a minus 10, must be equal to 3. If these two matrices are equal, well, the terms, they must be the same. And then following on very similarly, the 7 must be equal to b. So that one's really easy, right? Straight away we can see that, well, b must be equal to 7. So that's the value of b. b is equal to 7. That's done. And then to find a, we just go and create an equation here. 2a minus 10 must be equal to 3. So 2a, take away 10, must be equal to 3. Now to find a, we just go and add on the 10 to both sides. So 2a is going to be equal to 3 plus 10, which gives you 13. Now 2 times what gives you 13? Or in other words, 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. Or you could just write it as a is equal to 13 divided by 2. Personally, I would just keep it as a fraction. But you could also write it, if you want to, as that being equal to 6.5. Either or is absolutely fine. Okay, so that's it. A is 6.5 or 13 over 2, and B is equal to 7. So, as always, there's your term there that you can now try. Very similar. Sorry, the question I've just seen is kind of merged off, hasn't it? So the point to B, sorry. But you can pause the video, give that a go, and I will go through that now. So hopefully you've given that a go. On the your term, let's go through it. Setting it up in the same way as previously. You've got the transformation matrix A2 minus 1, 1. Let's go and write that over here. So A2, negative 1, 1. Transforms the point 3, 4. So that's your object, your starting point, and your image, your final point, onto the point 2b. Okay, there we go. 2 and then b. So just like we saw on the previous video, you have the object, the starting point, the transformation matrix, which you multiply with it to give you the final image. 2b. And the same thing as before. Let's just go and multiply the first two matrices together. Let's go and do that down here. A times 3 gives you 3a, and 2 times 4 gives you plus 8. So 3a, a little bit messy, 3a plus 8. Then on the bottom you've got negative 1 times by 3, which is minus 3, and you add on to this 1 times by 4, which is 4. Minus 3 plus 4 just gives you 1. So 1 goes down here. And that is, of course, equal to the right-hand side, which is 2, and then b over here. Now, again, from here, you just go and compare the coefficients. You've got b must be equal to 1, really straightforward. And then you've got on the top, you've got 2 must be equal to 3a plus 8. Okay, so that one's just a bit more of steps, but we can say straight away that b must be equal to 1. Done. And then you've got 3a plus 8 must be equal to 2. Again, solving the equation here, let's go and take away the 8 onto this side. So we can go and say, well, 3a must be equal to 2 take away 8, which is minus 6. Divide by 3, which will give you minus 2. Negative 6 divided by 3 gives you minus 2. And that is your answer. So B is 1 and A is -2. Okay, that should be good. Perfect. And that's it. So hopefully that was useful. Of course, any comments you can comment below, but on to the next video. Thank you.